Today's lesson is a review lesson on subtracting integers. I noticed in the one-step equation assignment from a few days ago that some students had a difficult time remembering how to subtract integers as part of their work with one-step equations. For example, let's write this problem down. Go ahead and take notes with me. There was a problem that said p plus 6 equals -9. And after you draw the train tracks, we need to get p all by itself on the left side. So to make 0 pairs with a plus 6, we can do -6. Some people add a -6, but some people like to just do -6 because adding and subtracting are opposites. So you can do it that way. And then on this side it's -6 also. But this is where the difficulty came. Some students were having difficulty with -9 minus 6. And so they ended up getting the wrong answer here. I want to talk about how to do -9 minus 6. So let's write example A here. -9 minus 6. Alright, hopefully you remember that I taught you when we're subtracting integers, subtracting positives and negatives, that's what integers are, we have to draw two lines to change this to an addition expression or an addition problem. So we talked about how we never touch the first number in the problem, but where we start with our two lines is we start at the subtraction sign. And our first line is to change it to addition. But we can't stop there, we have to do one more line. And the next line is on the next number. We're going to draw one line to change the sign. Right now the sign of this 6 is positive, so we draw one line to make it negative. We're changing the sign. So you can see in pink I drew two lines, changing it to addition and then changing the sign of the next number. So now we have -9 plus -6. And if you have 9 negatives like this, and then you add 6 more negatives, adding 6 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we don't have any 0 pairs at all, we just have a bunch of negatives. We have 9 negatives and 6 negatives adds up to 15 negatives, or -15 is our answer. Let's do another example. Example B. A different problem this time. Let's say it is 10 minus -4. Okay, 10 minus -4. Alright, in the same way that we drew two lines to change it to an addition problem here, we're going to draw two lines to change this to an addition problem. But this time, remember we don't start it with the first number, we start here. This time we have a negative number that we have to change. We had to change over here we had to change the +6 to a -6, but we already have a negative, so where does our line go this time? We've drawn our first line here, our second line goes there to change the sign. So we're changing it to addition and changing the sign of the next number. Two lines get that done. And now it's easy, 10 plus +4 is 14. Okay. Some of you remember this instruction and it's coming pretty natural for you because you've practiced it enough, you remember how to do it. Others of you need more practice. What I want you to do is do the Google document assignment and turn that in through Google Classroom. But I want to spend just a couple more minutes on this video for those who are interested in knowing why we have to draw two lines to change it to an addition problem. Go ahead and draw a number line here so I can explain why we change this to addition the way we do. We have 0, 1, 2, If I'm going too fast for you, you can pause your video to complete your number line and then start when you're ready. Okay, so let's talk about why subtracting integers can be changed to adding in this way by drawing two lines. All right, let's show what happens here. If you've got, for example, let's say you have 0 and you want to add 4. Okay, so we're going to write that add 4. All right, which way would we go if we have our pencil or pen starting at 0 on the number line? Which way would we go if we add 4? To the left or the right? We would go to the right, of course. Adding 4, you have to increase 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we go right when we add 4. Okay, what if you started with 0 and you take away 4? Minus 4. So let's write minus 4. So this one we're starting at 0, pencil is on 0, and we're taking away 4, minus 4. Which way do we go on the number line? We go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, and it becomes negative 4. So we go left. Okay, those are pretty easy to understand. But what if we have a problem where we have to do 0 minus a negative 4? Okay, so we know when we do minus 4, we have to go to the left. But what if we do minus a negative? That means we're taking away a negative. When we took away a positive 4, we had to go left. But if we're taking away a negative 4, that's a different story. So let's see what happens. I'm starting at 0, and now I'm going to take away, not 4, I'm going to take away a negative 4. It's a little bit hard to understand, but what that means is we are taking out of the problem 4 negatives. If we were adding 4 negatives, we would have to go toward the negative side. And maybe we should show that first. If we had 0 and we're adding negative 4, if we start at 0 and we add a negative 4, we would have to go toward the negative side, just like we did when we were taking away 4. So this one would be add negative 4. We have to go left. But if we are starting at 0 and we're taking away a negative 4, that's different than adding negative 4. Adding negative 4 goes this way. Taking away negative 4 means we're taking the negatives out, so we're going the other direction. So this means minus negative 4. We're going to go the opposite way, go right. But remember, going right was just like this one here, adding 4. And that's what we do when we subtract a negative. Let me show you. 0 minus negative 4. I taught you to do 2 lines. We change it to add and change the sign. It becomes adding a positive 4, which is just the same as this one here. So the reason that we draw 2 lines when we're subtracting negatives is because taking away a negative is the same as adding a positive. These are really the same exact kind of problem. We're just expressing it in a different way. I don't know if that's helpful to you, but hopefully it is. The most important part is to memorize the rule, and that is to draw two lines, to change it to an addition, and change the sign of the next number. I'm going to hold a Google Meet, and we're going to talk about these things, do some practice problems. So join me later today for a Google Meet. Look on Google Classroom for the time and for the invitation to that meeting.